Hello, welcome to another video, and let's talk about a spooky game. It is October, it is close to Halloween, and I have been playing Silent Hill 2 Remake. I want to preface this by saying I'm not completely done the game yet, but with Halloween, everything, it's a Friday, I thought, you know what, let's make a video talking about it because it is actually surprising how good it really is. I'm not showing anything with the game. There's no spoilers in this video at all, so don't be worried about that. My background with Silent Hill and Silent Hill 2 is that I've never played any Silent Hill 2. I've heard or any Silent Hill. I've heard of Silent Hill 2 and I've heard, how it's one of the greatest horror games basically ever, along with some other ones. And right now, I will say there is a lot of spooky games that are getting attention, and for some reason it seems like Silent Hill 2 Remake isn't getting that much. You have the Until Dawn remake, Silent Hill 2 remake, that they both came out very, few days apart, I think. And you have the Quiet Place game, which seems scary as hell, honestly, from the little clips that I've seen. But from the stuff that I've heard about the original Silent Hill 2 and hearing all about whatever you do not play the HD remaster that came out for the PS3, I think, of Silent Hill 2 because it just butchers the game apparently. There was a lot of skepticism about this remake, mainly because the developers weren't, a big time type of developing team. I think it's Blooper team, if I'm being honest. And with how the first kind of HD remaster of Silent Hill 2 was so bad, people were very skeptical and were worried that the original essence almost of Silent Hill 2 was kind of like a lightning in a bottle type of thing with like the graphics of the time, how the game scared you with the environment, and basically the thought of it could only really be done in that time frame. And I'm here to say Silent Hill 2 Remake, it does it very, very well. Obviously, a lot of horror video games like nowadays kind of they try to do jump scares a lot too often, and don't get me, this game does have jump scares. It does scare the shit out of me. So much more of like the ambient kind of environment kind of horror behind this took me by surprise, if I'm being honest. I knew it was fucked up. I knew it was scary. I didn't realize just kind of how daunting the game almost would feel. And that is wrapped up into like a perfect bow with the music of Silent Hill 2, because the music itself is like fucking terrifying to me, at least. I don't know why. Just walking through the woods at the start of the game, hearing the little sounds, but the music also kind of like freaking you out. And it's just everything is like trying to overstimulate you into being uncomfortable and not necessarily just be like, oh, look, here was a random murder or so, kind of thing. It's a lot more build up, kind of keep you on your toes the whole time, and even when you're gonna get you're scared while knowing you're going to get scared, almost. I don't know, but the horror is definitely there. It's genuinely terrifying. I know some people probably don't get scared by like any game just because the thought of like you're controlling a virtual person. I don't know. Some people mentally is just like can power through and not really get scared and just like, oh, whatever. And they might jump at a jump scare just because, they catches them slipping type of thing. But Silent Hill 2, for me at least, and for people that I think will get scared playing a video game, it's fucked up too. So like, I don't know. I think more games that are horror games, I think seeing some clips of The Quiet Place, it seems a bit more like daunting kind of scariness, just because like how that game works too, with like no making sounds and whatnot. But also talking about the remake, I would say the graphics look spectacular. Honestly, they remake the environment to have that same kind of fear with like the unknown of the fog, stuff like that. The sounds. Before I played, it said like make sure to have headphones, and I cannot stress that enough. Wear headphones if you play Silent Hill 2 Remake. And I'll say that the puzzles, the you know, exploring kind of. The gameplay itself is really good. It feels really good. It feels like a modern kind of horror gameplay type of game. It has some combat, it has some puzzle solving and whatnot. And I'll say the accessibility of this game was very surprising for me when I was first. As soon as you load into the game, if first thing it asks you is a bunch of different details and like settings, which I think every game should be forced to do that, not necessarily just put you into the game or something for a little bit and then get to change certain settings and whatnot. Rather, as soon as the game opens, here's the base bit of settings that you will want to choose from. Here's the default. You can mess with it all you want. They have so many accessibility with like even like little icons. You can have the icon not there. You can have the icon huge if you want it to be. They have different sliders for how hard you want combat versus how hard you want puzzles, which also don't understand why more games don't incorporate that in some ways. Because, like, I didn't change. Everything's just on default for me just because I want to have, like, a basic experience of it and just experience the story. But I would rather have, like, harder combat, easy puzzles. Because there's nothing I hate more for just me mentally. If I'm in a game and there's a puzzle and it takes like even slightly longer than it should have, I'm gonna get so frustrated because I just want to like progress in the game and not sit there and like be frustrated with this and then end up looking up a guide and be like, oh, that's what I was supposed to do. I'm a bad gamer. I'm sorry. But stuff like that is very refreshing for a game like this because honestly, they didn't need to do that. They could have just had a normal difficulty slider. It's a horror. They could have just had no difficulty if they really wanted to. Also, side note, the voice acting, the character design, stuff like that looks super good. Everyone sounds believable. It seems really good and like good effort behind it, I'd say, for like a horror game. It doesn't seem like anything's really that out of place or like seems silly. I mean, again, story's really fucked up. A lot of crazy shit happens. But overall, Silent Hill 2 Remake, it feels amazing getting into it, playing it, getting through a lot of it, and never playing the OG one. It makes me almost want to play the OG one to just see if it is, you know, as scary and as like atmospheric and whatnot as you hear about. There's so many like retrospectives and whatnot of the original Silent Hill 2. It was like big cult classic kind of thing, even though I don't know, it might be bigger than cult classic. It might just be a classic game. So many people talk about it. There's so much to talk about with this game just because it was at the time like the pinnacle of like real psychological kind of environmental horror. It feels great in today's day. I don't know. I haven't played a horror game that feels like this in a long time that is like supposed to scare you, you know? There's games like, I'm trying to even think the last horror game. I know Alan Wake 2 isn't a horror game, but it has some bits of like being scared, but it quickly turns into like, this turns into kind of an action game. While Silent Hill 2 is fucking scary the whole way through, which also makes you sit there and also like be like, what's going on? It's, I don't know. Overall, it's been great. It's perfect for a Halloween, October kind of thing. I fully plan to finish it. I don't have a lot left before Halloween to say I played a spooky game for the time of year. Definitely check out Silent Hill 2 Remake. I've only heard good reviews, but I haven't really heard that much about the game personally. So, I don't know. I was really excited because I never experienced it, and I can say from someone that's a complete outsider, it is really good. The atmosphere, everything, it seems like it's perfect. If the OG one's still even better than this, but in like those areas, I don't know how, but fucking good on them for the PS2. I think it was PS2 or PS1, whatever it was. Silent Hill 2 original. But quickly, also want to just say thank you again for the love and support on the Warhammer videos. I haven't really made progress with any of my miniatures or anything yet. I'm still waiting for the paint and whatnot, but rest assured, once I start to, you know, paint some of them, see how they look and whatnot, I will post another video updating how I'm doing. But that is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Consider leaving a like if you did. Consider subscribing. Helps the channel a bunch. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I hope you have a great weekend. Peace out.